Hello, Internet, and welcome to something. This is Card and Banner. We're doing a playtest here today. I was looking for like a name of a show, and then I realized there's none attached to this because it's just bullshit because we've got too much time on our hands. Thanks for joining us here today, and all my lovely friends who have come here to play this game with me. We're going to get started super quick because we got a tight timetable today. We've got over the next week, if you are interested in other things going on the channel, let's see, on Thursday, we have our next All Myths Are True, which Savannah runs. It's Tales from the Loop, bunch of kids on bikes getting in trouble. Saturday, we have Saturday Nights, which I run. It's a D&D 5th edition campaign with Saturday Nights Thunderball, specifically, where we're doing a sport. And then Sunday, we have the Pursue the Black Kestrel, our former Pathfinder campaign, now D&D campaign. We'll talk more about that next Sunday. And that is going to be at 4 o'clock Eastern time. It's new time slot to coincide with Slaying 101. That's it. I'm gonna let these people introduce themselves just like super quick, and say what they are doing and who they are and why they are here. I don't know what the overlay looks like.
I do, and I'll go first. Hello,
Okay,
it's
Savannah,
me.
you go.
I'm Savvy at Savvy Seaworth on everything. You know me. You see me around these parts. And I'm doing all the stuff that Sean just said. I don't have any other announcements except for that I'm happy to be here in a big old fighting robot. Who's next to me? Sid.
Hey, I'm Christina Sid. I am very excited to play this. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I am here every other Sunday. I play Slaying 101. It's Monster of the Week. It's fun. And it's gonna get funner. That's a word, right? Yep. Next time's gonna be great.
Is it?
Nothing terrible's happening at all.
Nothing terrible's happening at all. I'm very excited. I'm also over on Pro Starter channel on Saturdays at what is that? That's 1 o'clock Eastern. Playing some Caldore D&D 5e. My dad isn't dead yet, but there's still time, so come check that out as well. And yeah, I'm playing the veteran tonight. It is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
GB.
Woohoo! Graybeard's Tavern. Check out my Twitter for my schedule. We're falling between seasons, but you can catch me here on G Game Nights as often as I can be, but mostly in the Monster of the Week game every other Sunday. Damn It Barry's channel, Encounter Roleplay. I'm forgetting several games. Anyway, that's me. Tonight I will be Kenjobu Shumazu, and I will be the Maverick.
Okay. Jake, tell the people hi and who you're playing.
I will tell the people hi. Hello. My name is Jake. I'm still fairly new. I play. I'm over on Saturdays playing Thunderball with a few of these people and a couple others, and it's turning into a wacky time, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But I'm really excited to play this because I am a absolute big robot fan. I don't think you can see it like behind me, but like that whole bookshelf is filled with Gundam models that I've built. It is a very fun thing for me, and so I'm going to be playing the gifted character of Noah Mass, which is me slamming together 2 character names from Mobile Suit Gundam because that's what I do, and I'm just excited. Yay.
All right. Ryan.
Right.
Who are you?
I'm Ryan. Now I'm playing the
Hi,
rookie.
Also reprising your role like Savannah was.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that I was playing the same character as last time.
Yeah, I don't think it did, but it's fine. We'll character stuff will come up. You guys will have another chance to introduce yourselves and describe yourselves. Carbon Banner, like we mentioned a couple times, and like I said, for like 2 hours yesterday, if you want to watch the stream that I did, is a game that I wrote, used Powered by the Apocalypse system. We're here doing our second playtest of it. All these people are pilots, big mech suits, fighting. Yay! Let's get started. Galactic Calendar, year 530. Alloy Fields. The outer boundaries of the triplanetary sphere. The fields orbit along the same axis as the furthest Gaian moon, Obsidia. The reach of the Andromeda League is weak, this far removed from Terra Prime, in a region prone to civil unrest and piracy. But it remains a focus of interest and conflict within the triplanetary sphere due to its high density of valuable materials and metals and fuel. The mega corporation Ryder has established hundreds of mining outposts within these fields, stripping the region of its resources to profit from the ongoing civil war between the League and the remnants of the Terran independence movement unified under the Carbon Banner. You have been hired by one such outpost, Mining Colony 366. The Ryder manager has offered you and 4 other pilots a substantial contract, 3,000 credits and prototype pike upgrades for defending their main refinery from attack. The mission briefing you received detailed a number of pirate attacks against the colony in recent months. Ryder is tasking you with eliminating these pirates by any means. So that's where we come in to this mining outpost nestled against the dark exterior of this lone asteroid drifting through the emptiness of space. We see this jagged black terrain of the asteroid is broken up by a large seeming growth coming off the side of it. This glowing dome as this terraformed region of the asteroid that has been made so by the Ryder Corporation. Within this domed, this protected field, there is a collection of several hundred small domiciles, homes of the colonists, the workers that reside on this base and are employed by the Ryder Corporation. Sort of half in and half out of the dome is this massive metal facility, this refinement plant. It is flanked by a few dozen other smaller facilities around the outside, but the main refinery, a crisscrossing of these large transport tubes and stacks emitting various debris into the vacuum of space. And that is where we find the 5 of you within a loud central warehouse, like a loading dock to the refinery. 5 large, imposing mechs, pikes, which we will describe here shortly. Humanoid shaped, massive constructs of representing the cutting edge of Ryder technology, stand at the entrance of this loading bay. And the 5 of you stand outside your individual machines as you wait for your benefactor, your employer. I'm going to go down the line and just have you sort of give your name again if you already did, or if you haven't already, and describe what you look like and what your machine looks like in 30 words or less. Just kidding. How about quickly? Savannah, you go first.
Oh, howdy, y'all. My character's name is Sophia Grace Kelly. Her older brother calls her Sophie. Her fans call her Titania. Sophia is a sweet, nice, smiley looking young woman. She has a high sort of blonde ponytail, tan skin, freckled and a little bit sun-pocked. She is famous, and that's the best part about her. She used to be a stunt pilot, and she got bored because she's a big old adrenaline junkie, and so now she's mercenary. But she has a mech that has her own personal branding on it. So while she wears pretty simple clothes like jeans, shirt, brown leather jacket, boots, her mech is painted these sort of bright purple and lime green colors with the Titania logo sort of splashed on the side with these flashes of colors, and it's all very loud and exciting. Yeah. That's Sophia.
Sid.
My name's Myrtle, but everybody calls me Mama. She's about 70 to you'd hazard a guess she's somewhere between 60 to 85. Just a long, stringy mess of gray and white, silvery hair, big bandana tied around, eye patch. Grizzled does not begin to describe this woman who's seated. No, she found a seat because screw that. She's not standing up if she doesn't need to. But she's a little disheveled, little again grizzled. That's just sort of what we're going for here. Her mech, however, is not. It is the shiniest thing you've ever seen. It is her baby. Just the top of the line, everything possible, but somehow still like patchwork. You can tell she's just sort of replaced things as they've gone, but if you like dug down deep, it would be some of the oldest tech you've ever seen. She's been around a while, and she's a vet. Which war? All of them. But now she's just there to make that money and get on to retirement.
I don't remember if Titania said it, and I'm gonna ask you as well. What's the name of your pike?
It's the GSL 17.
GSL
Chip
17.
Lollipop.
Should I call it the lollipop?
You will not call it the lollipop. You will call it the GSL 17.
All right, thank you.
I didn't say mine.
Yeah, what was this?
My mech is designation TN22, the Harpy.
Okay. All right. Who's next? GB.
No time to take notes. All right. Ken Jobu is he's got tattoos on one side of his face. He's really lean and generally pretty quiet. His mech is his pike is almost completely black. It's got a couple of protrusions above the shoulders, and it's just booster rockets. Just everything is some kind of port or vent to throw thrust in one direction or another. It is the Endai Kira, and it is the EK05. And the his dress is rather sharp, but it too is generally just black. He's got the shades thing going on, and he just pops them up and talks just to look people, give that samurai like squint, and then puts them back in place. And that's Kenjofu.
Perfect. Jake.
Yes. I am Noah Mass, and he is very quiet, calm, reserved, but as he is a gifted, is incredibly emotionally resonant with other people's emotions, and even more so with his pike. Has a very fond sort of interdependent relationship with his pike. He is young, kind of a no frills. I don't want to say all jean ensemble, but is pretty clearly like doesn't pull any airs with anything. Has always found a proclivity towards being investigative with being one with sort of the pikes and different other machines and robots. And the one he pilots is the is dubbed the Psi Barrier Row 1844. Doesn't like to use names, but if it's shorthand, it is the PBR 1844.
All right. Perfect. Sorry, I'm writing all this good shit down. And then Ryan.
I'm going to be playing Francisco Ortega, aka Cisco, who is a young whippersnapper. He's of average height in the world, so roughly like what is that, 5'6", 5'7"? Is that average world height for he's
for the distant future?
Yeah, sure, he's about like that. He's got a thick crop of dark hair that he has swept back. His once whisper of a mustache is a little bit more in than it was last time. But you'll like this time he does have a wireframe, like kind of like wireframe glasses that he has had to start wearing recently, which is not great for pilots. But he's wearing his flight suit. He's standing smartly at attention, and the pike behind him is kind of a new model. It's one of the for the rookie, it's a newer generation of pike. And its coloring, it's like kind of like a yellow jacket layout.
And what's its designation and name?
Coyote Zero.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So as the 5 of you are standing there, and before you really have, you've all come in at your own pace at this point. Some of you have been waiting here a little bit longer than others, gauging the competition before you're able to get too much chit chat between the 5 of you. A large set of heavy bulk doors on the other side of this chamber slide open. You wouldn't notice them at this distance except for the white light that comes pouring out from it in this otherwise kind of gloomy warehouse interior. And walking out, you see 2 individuals. One tall man with a shaved head wearing a very nice suit, futuristic, so like the collar's popped up. I think that's what they did in the Alien franchise. You know, that sort of thing. And next to him is a young lady with a like an itinerary that she is holding, just like running to keep up with him. And from across the room in this very sort of boisterous tone, he exclaims, "Well, isn't that something? Mine." It's like echoes across the room, and there are a couple extra mine. He says, "I don't think I've ever seen anything so beautiful in my life," as he's looking up at the 5 machines currently sitting at the hangar doors. And as he gets close enough, he stops and he looks down at the 5 of you. He says, "I'm sorry for your wait. Mr. Dawson, you can refer to me as. I'm your employer for this, well, hopefully short-lived venture. I'm looking to see all of you paid and a little bit of excitement along the way. So how about that? I assume you all have the briefing, right?"
Yes, sir.
Right. Perfect. Well, follow me for the tour and I'll get you caught up to speed. And he turns on his heel and starts walking back the other way.
Someone gonna give an old lady a leg up here. Well,
Sure.
fuck all y'all. All right.
Yeah,
I can.
yeah. Jobu gives you a weird look and then gives you a hand.
No.
She doesn't even need it. She just, she stands up.
Titania?
Cisco.
It's good to be working with you again.
A pleasure, as always.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is it normal for people to have us meet at places that they don't actually want to talk at?
You know, it's starting to seem that way. It's
Okay.
they make us wait in one room, and then I think they like the dramatic reveal.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the whole second location thing feels like a power move.
You're probably right. Life ain't nothing without a little drama. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
All of them have read, all the NPCs in my universe have like a copy of Negotiating for Dummies. Yeah, so Mr. Dawson leads you out of the room with a quick stride, and begins to rattle off some locations. And as you're walking through this facility, you leave this room and you walk across a large like catwalk overlooking a maintenance dock. You can see there are a number of other like combat mechs that are lined up in these silos and have some workers that are tending to them, being calibrated, refueled. He says, of course, we've had to repurpose some of the facility given the recent attacks to make use for our heavy military presence here. They're not being paid quite as much as the 5 of you, but I can promise that the mercenary groups we've hired to back you up in this endeavor are top notch. And he just keeps on walking. A few of the pilots from down there look up to see you, and there's a little bit of a hubbub about the 5 pike operators that have been hired for this mission, but you don't catch too much of it from your distance. He leads you into another room, which there's a long tunnel, and then through another sliding set of bulkheads, and you get a little bit of heat as you come through here. And you can see across the room there are some like smelters and some running like liquidized metals coming down through like various shafts and being poured out into larger vats. Some of the more of like the refinery processes in here. And you also see in the center of the room there's this massive tunnel, just a shaft leading straight down into the asteroid itself. He says, this is shaft A. This is one of the primary resource lines that we've been able to tap here on 366. So this is our top priority here. This is the money maker. So I don't anticipate they'll make it in the base, but you know, this is your priority. Keep this safe. And he just keeps on walking. Finally, after a lot more walking and stairs and showing off some other rooms, he heads up to a quieter area of the base, and you enter into what seems like an office. What is an office? Though you didn't see any windows from the exterior, there is a large transparent section of the wall here, and you can see out over the colony on one side, and the window is sort of bifurcated by the barrier of the Terror Dome itself, and you can see out into space along the other side. And onto the asteroid itself. And Mr. Dawson walks across the room, and you see his assistant head over to his desk and begin to like tidy up some things and pull out his chair. And he sits on the edge of the desk, kind of pushing over some papers that his assistant had just sort of tidied up. And she begins to attend to those now. He says, and that's about all of it. Any questions on your assignment here? Pretty cut and dry. It's mostly just a show of force. We need to scare off these marauders, keep this from happening again. It's gotten too much, cutting into too much for our profit. We can only handle so much cut to our bottom line here. So, questions?
None, but you can bet they'll see us coming from a mile away.
How many?
That's the idea.
How many?
Sorry.
How many?
Well, their numbers have kind of come and gone. Initially, when they attacked, there were maybe 50 infantry, and they had about 7 or 8 combat machines between them. And we took out a few. Thought that was enough, and then a couple months later, came back and had about twice that. Each time we've taken out our fair share, but they just seem to hit it back harder. There's something there they're interested in. I think they're just desperate, probably based in some further out point in the alloy fields, and see us as an easy mark here, considering we're not going to get any league backup. So
Dropships? Battleships?
and he looks over to his assistant, and she looks up from her tablet, and he says, "Stacy, is there anything in the report about that?" And she looks up and says, "No, nothing about dropships. We're assuming that maybe they're deploying on the far side of the asteroid and then traversing on foot to stay under the radar. At least that's what's in the report."
Y'all tried finding the source?
He says, that's not really our business here. I offered a bounty for this, and for any information. The workers here are simple folk and don't really know much about that sort of thing. Haven't gotten any information on that, and we can only spread ourselves so thin here. But, like I said, overwhelming show of force. They see 5 fine pilots such as yourselves. I'm sure they won't come back. Anything else?
I think Noah detects a hint of like something being hidden, but he doesn't know enough to like say something about it. So he's very like cautious at the moment, but just want to speak out.
Is that an analyze roll?
It kind of sounds like an analyze roll.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Wait, there are rules to this game?
When you analyze, so analyze is one of the moves, one of the basic moves that everyone has access to. When you analyze a person, machine, or situation, roll plus mind.
Okay. All right. And I will.
Which I think for you is pretty good.
Yeah, I got +2 on mine.
All right.
That's a 10, baby.
Oof. Nice. Okay, so on 10 plus, it's a full success. You get 3 hold, so you can spend that hold to ask questions from the analyze list. For the stream, those questions are: what am I missing? What are the, and again, these are kind of general, like you can interpret these based on the fact that you're inquiring about a person. What am I missing? What are the weak points? What here is most valuable to me? What is the purpose of blank? What is the best way to blank? And how do blank and blank connect?
Yeah. And hold is a weird jargon in the Powered by the Apocalypse
Yes.
thing. If you've never heard that before, it basically, it's a point that you spend to ask a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out.
What we
It's one of those
should-
things that you get
What we
used
should
to
write
from-
in these games is you can ask 3 questions.
Yeah, it should just say ask your. I've never understood the whole. You have gain 3 hold.
And
I think the idea-
forward and
Yeah, you can save it. I guess is the idea.
Right.
Still awkward.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to. I think Noah wants to inquire further. I think he's going to go in on his hunch, and say like, okay, so like.
And these are questions you don't have to ask these questions out of character. These are questions you ask me. So you don't have to like ask them in character. I should also specify that.
Okay. All right. So then I guess I want to ask is he leaving out some information for us? Like, is there something being hidden?
Okay, so like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have this hunch. Following it on that, I think based on the interaction between. Actually, here's the perfect thing. You're the gifted, so you have sort of a connection with machines. I think there's a brief point where like you try to like psychically interface with the tablet that she has to try to access that report. As you do that, as she is like closing out the report, currently shutting off her tablet, you gain a brief insight into it, and there is a section or a chapter in the report that it does specifically mention like no dropships located. There is a I think there is a section of the report where whoever wrote it, probably one of the like commanding officers of the mercenary group, mentions a possible theory that the pirates are somehow stationed on the asteroid and launching their attacks from somewhere on the asteroid itself, and that's how they're subverting the radar. You can ask 2 more questions if you have any else, but you can also hold on to those and ask questions later.
I think I want to hold on to them for now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have anything for this scene?
Sir, what degree of force are we authorized to use?
Company line is we're trying to mitigate damage and preserve the lives of preserve human life here. I would say necessary damage, necessary force is what you are off the record. I mean, whatever you need to. You've got some big machines there. I say blow them the hell up. So.
Hey, they shot first, baby.
They always shoot first.
Exactly.
No, I always shoot first.
Well, if they're not around to contradict our story.
My pipe doesn't have a gun, it has a sword.
Oh, no shit, me too.
Well, stab first, then.
What about to the planet itself?
The asteroid should be maintained. We don't want anything happening to our deposits here, and that the damage to the facility and the asteroid should be kept to a minimum. That is our number one priority. You're here to protect the facility.
So no extra pay if some of your mining gets done for you.
Kill the merch, save the perks is what I like to say, young one. So
Exactly. Listen.
Understood.
There you go. So I don't want to have to get into the spiel about, docking pay if any machinery is damaged during but we don't have to get into that. It's in your contracts, but try to keep the damage to none.
I haven't been on many missions, but I've learned that it's good to ask these questions up front.
All right. Well, you should have enough time to relax, get your legs under you. I'm sure you've had a long travel, and as soon as he says that, you hear a droning sound from outside, like a wah 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 from the base itself, in the refinery itself. And he goes, and he like looks out the window towards the asteroid side, and you see the blast door, like these blast screens are beginning to lower on his window, and from the distance you begin to see a little bit of like debris kick up along the surface of the asteroid itself. And he says, all right, so no time to relax. I'll keep the champagne on ice. You've got work to do.
At this point, Titania has this like huge grin across her face. She's like almost jumping up and down.
Tenjobu is already on the move.
All right.
I like your style. Let's go, baby.
Ma'am, do you need a hand?
This isn't the Mexico one.
Well, that's very kind of you, young man. I would appreciate it. She takes your hand, but again, doesn't seem to need it very much.
Okay. It is comforting.
Y'all are going to miss it.
Cisco hasn't seen his
They'll
mom in a
be there
while.
when I
It's
get
kinda-
there, darling. They always are.
And the 5 of you go running at various speeds back through the facility.
I miss my umbrella.
And you hop into your machines through various means. We won't get too descriptive, but I'm matching everybody's machines outfitted for different ways. Some of them just have like the cable systems that they like strap one foot into and then up to the top, while others of you actually like scale up like a ladder system along the side. I think Noah, yours like kneels down as you approach and like
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
rad.
yeah, and actually just like picks you, like extends a hand, and you stop and just sort of like lifts you up towards the cockpit that's in like the chest of the machine.
Yep. I mean,
Um,
that's a perk of my.
Yeah.
As soon as the lights come on the Harpy, just from the cockpit, just this pop music just starts like blasting out.
Mama has an
Uh,
elevator.
yeah.
Door
Tenjobu's
opens.
It's a spiral
Thousand.
staircase with a chair that just like goes.
Yep.
Tenjobu has like there's down lighting, and it's like you step between the legs of the thing, and it like levers you up into it. And as he gets in, he like pulls his shades off, taps a compartment, it rolls up. He puts the shades in, he taps the compartment, they roll into the dashboard, and
That's
then
old
leans
school.
back and ready to roll.
Love
And then
it.
another set of shades just drops from the ceiling.
It's combat shade.
My combat
It's
shade.
combat shades. I love it.
Yeah,
All right, perfect.
They
Everyone
switch,
has-
they switch up. Yeah.
And everyone has all these cool interests. And mine, like Mech, it's like the entrance is in the butt, and it's like really embarrassing. Everyone's got these cool ones. It's like, it's like,
You'll get there one day,
yeah,
buddy.
one day. Why'd they
Sweet.
put it here?
Sweet little rookie.
All right, and you all load into your machines, and as the lights and the displays come on and renders this the room around you, the doors that you came through that led into back towards like the colony close, and then on the other side of this loading dock, you see some red strobe lights begin to flash as the room begins to depressurize, and you step out into the vacuum of and the minimal atmosphere of this asteroid beyond. And you see that they've already been deployed and are heading out across the asteroid. You see a number of combat mechs, not pikes, lower like standard issue model from the military, or probably decommissioned military mechs, are heading out there. Probably 6 of them that this mercenary group had, that they are currently deploying for this, and then 20 or 30 infantry that have some light like booster packs that they're wearing and carrying some blaster rifles. And across the asteroid, you see the pirates approaching. You see the dust through the dust cloud. 8 combat mechs, or at least the silhouettes of combat mechs approaching. You see a glint of red as the forces are charging across. There's also a smattering of infantry for these pirates that are approaching as well. And immediately, the 2 forces of the Rider mercenaries and the pirates clash in front of you, locking in with a few of the combat mechs, but a few more break through their lines along with some infantry to the back lines to where the 5 of you are currently stationed. And immediately there is a volley of shells that are lobbed in your direction as the mechs begin to unload. What do you do? I'll say specifically, Jake, the way the combat works in the system, there's no initiative or anything. We just go narratively, and it first come, first serve.
Can I use a bunch of shells are coming like streaking towards us, that sort of thing?
Yeah. The it looks like the mechs themselves or the pirates are using like kinetic rounds.
Okay.
So yeah, they're firing upon the base and the 5 of you.
Can I use something in a way that it probably wasn't intended to be used?
Always.
Right out of the gate, Ryan.
So,
Every time.
as part of because it's a new model, I was able to, or part of my playbook, I was able to grab an ability from another pike, and add something to it, and I got missiles. So can I use these missiles, like send them into the air and like detonate them prematurely to create like a flak field, basically, to try to like swallow up those incoming shells?
Yes, that is a great idea. What move would I do for that? Do you have an idea for?
I haven't looked at it, but let me look at I mean, it could be assist is the first thing that I see, but
Yeah.
or a stunt, or a stunt actually.
Stunt on them.
Stunt works too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's do stunt. That's a good catch-all for that. Yeah, difficult or risky maneuver, which this is.
Okay.
So
part of being a rookie, I can roll with luck instead of skill.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that now, and I roll badly, so I fail. Despair it up.
Woof. Yeah, you gain a point of despair.
I said it's 5 for the stream.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
5. Jeez. No, I don't think you did, but yikes, that's bad. So when you attempt difficult or risky maneuver under fire, roll plus skill. On a miss, you lose control. So I think
let's scoot out for us, like say, I've got this, and fire out this salvo of missiles.
So I think this is what happens is you fire these missiles with the intention of tracking them manually to detonate them prior to impacting like a designated target. As you fire off way too many, and you begin to try to manually input the detonate codes. It does not go as you intended. A few of them go like streaking off and like impacting the asteroid itself. One of them slams into the back of one of the Rider mercenary mechs. It exploding, and the whole mech kind of crashes to the ground. It goes, and you hear over the comms like the pilot of that mech just going, just what the fuck just happened? Is there something behind us? Are we being flanked? And you see a bunch of the mercenaries turn around to check their 6, and then one of the last missile scores spins in the air, and then its thrusters kick on, and it just goes rocketing back, and then slams into the side of the building, and you just see this vacuum and you can see like the air escaping from the seal to the building itself. So yeah, bad.
Perfect. Yeah, just look of shock and horror for a bit.
As we started to move, Kenjobu lifted a foot and then never touched the ground. He was already in the air. His mech was just flying out of the area, and as soon as he cleared the door, he hits his boosters and just rockets up into space.
Awesome.
To get some distance.
Okay, so you
feel.
Okay. Do you want to? I'll give you so you can either lead that into another move as you are rocketing above the battlefield, or if you want to do like an analyze move from up there, that would work too. Or that's a good setup for something else.
I was gonna lead it into, basically one of the protrusions of that stick up above the head flips around and becomes like a massive railgun, like sniper rifle.
Yes.
But I need some distance first, so I will take that analyze option.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, you can take the shot if you want to. You can from up there.
Let's see what we got, what we're dealing with. I'd rather take out a critical target than just fire rounds.
Sure. Yeah. Roll plus mind for
not
analyze.
Not my strong point. Okay. Okay, mind is +0, so that's easy. Partial. Okay.
Okay. You get 2 holds, so you can ask 2 questions from that list.
Who's there? Basically, in what are the weak points? Basically, who's the commander? Who could I shoot that will disrupt their cohesion?
Okay, I'll treat that as like what are the weak points, and then what here's most valuable to me.
Sounds great.
As 2 questions.
Yep.
So first off, from what are the weak points, you notice 2 things. That salvo, those shots that were being taken were actually being taken from the infantry themselves. You see, they had a couple of like bazookas that they were using to fire some like heavy artillery, which they've since dropped. You gather that was their payload, and we're going to get to that in a second because you did not detonate those, so those are about to make impact too. Those, now that they're gone, you notice through the scope, because I imagine you have some sort of targeting like high magnitude scope on your rifle. The combat, the mechs themselves, as you look them over, they are patchwork. They are kind of sloppily painted red. They look like worker mechs that have had like welded onto the arms some like crude blades from like, it looks like almost like scrap metal or something that has been welded onto them. They don't look heavily armed. You don't see any ammunition or any like cannons or guns or anything on the mechs themselves. So that's a weak point that you notice. As far as valuable targets, you see in the back, not in a mech, but there's sort of like a tank treaded machine. It looks like a rover of some kind, heavily armored, that is towards the back lines, kind of slowly moving along behind the pirate forces. That catches your attention.
All right. I'll shout out. I'll be like, so do people want to go by their mech's name in combat or their call sign in combat? What would be more easy for everyone?
I like call sign.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, same.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
I guess he would say, Maverick would say something like, Titania, there's a rover in back, heavily armored, probably a prime target. They look like ground pounders. They don't seem to have guns on the mechs. So stand down, stand off, and pick them off. You don't have to get in there and mix it up if you don't want to. And
Kim, baby, I don't have to, but I want to. She zooms straight into the middle of everything.
Okay.
Towards the big mean thing.
As you go zooming straight into the middle, the missiles that were fired at the base go zooming straight over the top of you, and it's at this point, as Cisco is trying to get control of the mech and trying to deal with that, look like he did not just shoot one of the other mechs in the back, one of the mercenaries in the back. You see these missiles slam into the bay doors that you just came out through, and just blows that entrance to the base wide open. and the forces that the additional forces overwhelming the mercenary group are piling around. Titania, what do you do?
Can I get to the big roller?
Okay,
That
you
Ken pointed out.
so you
I have
want
a
to
big
sort
sword.
of move. Yes, yes, you do. So you want to move over the main force and straight to the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit a snake.
I am going to have you stunt in order to
Oh, heck.
do that.
Okay. Stunt is skill.
Skill.
Yeah, a little of that. That's an 11.
Boy, boy.
11.
Stunt on him.
Okay. Yeah, that's a full success. So there are a few of the infantry that do have like smaller, like short range firearms begin to shoot up in your direction, firing just like leaving a trail behind you as you are much faster than they anticipated. Yeah, they can't quite get a beat on you, and yeah, you kick on your thrusters and spin at an impossible angle through the air, avoiding the fire, and then kick them on again as you hit the ground, blasting up a section of the rock behind you, creating this massive dust cloud, and then going skidding across the ground towards the tank. So I'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah.
The rest of you, so Mama and Noah, you guys haven't done anything yet. What are you doing?
Mama watched just the bay doors get like blown to pieces right next to her and her mech, and that was a little irritating, but you know what? Slow and steady wins the race. So the good ship's gonna, get a little bit of air and see far away those the ground pounders as they were back there that Titania's going after. She's gonna say, Titania there, darling, do watch your six. Coming in with you a little. She'll just kind of do a little lean over and shoot her ion cannons down that way.
You got it, Mama.
Okay. At the main force or at the large like tank towards the
At
back?
the big old tank. I'll let the whippersnappers deal with the main force over here.
All right, do battle.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be roll plus fight.
And I did take sterner stuff, so here we go. Ooh.
Oof.
Which did not really help much. So that's a 6. Anyone want to help me?
Is there a way I can assist?
Yeah, so there is an assist move. So you could, if you can come up with a narrative way to explain how you help her in this moment, you certainly can.
Ken Jobu will be like, "You're listed too far to the left."
Nope. Thank you.
Aim
Literally
assist over here.
She'll-
doing the math. Like, okay, nope, you're gonna miss. Because
She'll attempt to like close the one eye, forget she's got the eye patch. Oh no, you're right, and opens it back up again, and leans a little bit over. And
Oh, it moves out past the other eye.
readjusts. Yeah,
Okay, wait,
pushes it
wait.
over, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so for assisting, that's a roll plus ties. We didn't do ties at the beginning. You guys don't know each other, so I think it's just gonna be a flat roll for those of you that don't know each other. The only people that'll be an exception to are gonna be Rookie and Gambler.
there's an 8.
8. Okay, so on a mixed success with assist or interfere, so they can take a +1, but you expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Yeah, maybe I throw a laser point like down at them or something that's like there.
Sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so that is going to be a partial success on the do battle move. So we'll resolve that first. So on a 7 to 9, you choose one for that list. You guys are going to trade damage either way, but you get to pick one from that list to mitigate the situation.
Let's aim for them vitals.
Okay, what's the damage? on your
It's
ion
2
cannon?
energy far, so +1 would be 3.
3. Okay, you fire the ion cannon, and this streak of blue energy goes just crashing over the battlefield, and then slams into the tank, which does not appear to have any barrier, and you see it just rips this long gash along the side of it. The pilot on the inside, there are actually a couple of individuals inside of it. You see one of them just like blasted out of the machine. One of the others, or the other two that are in there, the cockpit depressurizes, but they appear to be wearing like null suits, so they are okay right now, but it is heavily damaged right now and exposed. As that happens, though, I think one of the other mechs, these modified worker mechs that the pirates are using, has rushed up on you and is going to deal its damage to you as it just stabs out with one of these swords, or these like impact blades that it has. So that is going to be it's just going to be 1 damage. It's not, they're not very good. Do you have any armor?
I do. I took the titanium plating. She's
Okay.
slow, but she's steady. So that's
Okay.
a +2 armor.
So you reduce the armor entirely. The blade kind of goes glancing off. You do kind of spin through the air from the force of the impact, so you lose your sense of direction momentarily, but your machine itself does not take any damage as this the slightly smaller machine just like slams into you.
Do watch where you point that sharp thing, youngin.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How are we, can you explain very quickly tracking damage? Because I don't see that on my sheet.
Oh, sorry. I didn't put a damage track on there. You guys can take 6 damage with your pikes before you get killed.
Okay.
Your pilots can only take 4. So, but any damage right now just goes to the pike until I tell you otherwise.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then I have a thing. I don't know if it would apply for this, but I took what's it called? I took do. No. Oh no, it's part of the veteran. It's my second blade. Oh no, that's for 10+. Never mind. Cool. Nah, we're good.
Okay. So you that's resolved. Ken Jobu, you are you did expose yourself to danger, so I think the pirates that are approaching some of the infantry do fire their weapons up at you. They would deal 1 damage. Actually, no, they're person, so it's reduced. So it's no damage. But it does sort of throw off your aim because you are currently trying to fire this massive lance rifle. You're going to have -1 forward for your next due battle because you have had your aim thrown off.
Even if it had done 1 damage, because I'm in the air, I would have balleted around it.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah, so it's me spinning myself to dodge ground fire. That has now thrown my own aim off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. And Noah.
So I think what Noah does is after I think just naturally is going to kind of let everybody do their own thing, and then kind of a moment of not hesitation, but just kind of seeing how the battlefield is, takes a breath, and then just boost straight into the fray. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do, and goes right into kind of a main mech force in some ways. Can see that they are just kind of shoddily put together, and it's this is not hard. I have a fusion sword, and it's gonna go right into the main force and kind of draw out the fusion sword and do battle, as it were.
Okay, yeah. Roll plus fight.
All right. That's a 7.
Okay, it's a mixed success. Again, you can pick one from that list. You can either aim, and I'll read for the stream. You can choose one for aim for their vitals, deal 1 damage, find cover or dodge, reduce your damage taken by 1 because you're about to take damage as a result. Press your advantage, gain +1 forward, or escape and avoid further conflict.
Let's go ahead and do damage.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do
Okay.
damage.
So doing the extra +1 damage.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the damage on your sword?
It is 2 damage energy.
Okay, so it's gonna be 3. You come charging into this fray of mechs in just one sweep with your fusion sword. It cuts down a large swath of the infantry in the area, and then slicing through one of the legs of one of the mechs as a result. However, 2 of these mechs now like pile on top of you and slam into you with their blades. That's going to be 2 damage kinetic. Do you have any armor?
I don't have armor, but I do have a particle barrier.
Okay, so that would protect you against energy.
Yeah.
These are kinetic, you do not
Okay.
reduce it, so your machine takes 2 damage.
Okay.
Fray
It takes how much?
2.
2. Okay. So just as a kind of reminder, the way moves work in this game is they're kind of automatic, or
What do you mean?
like character moves.
What
so like,
move are you looking at? Yeah, it's moves don't like take an action or something like D&D.
Right.
It's just like if the fiction matches the move, you can do.
So for example, so I have a move, reverse psychology. That's just pilot. That's not mech damage. Never mind.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, never mind. So yeah.
All right. So all of this has happened in the span of a few seconds. There is, as the dust is settling, the mercenaries are trying to push back these pirates the best they can. This tank is moving forward as Titania is bearing down on it. A large or a medium-sized section of these pirates have kind of come around as their numbers have overwhelmed the mercenaries and are heading towards the opening in the side of the facility. But the bulk of the force is being held back right now. I think we need to resolve Titania's thing first because it feels very pressing. You have your sword. You are heading straight in towards this tank.
Yeah, she's gonna activate this big ol' bright purple energy sword and just try to carve it up.
Okay. Go ahead and do battle.
Okay, so I have the move knife to a gunfight, which is when I do battle up close and personal, I get to roll luck instead of fight.
Yes.
Which is great, because my fight is negative. So, please be good. Damn. No. That's a 6.
That is a 6.
Despair with me, despair.
Can I help?
Yeah, you could attempt to help if you would like.
All right. How do I do this?
I call
Darling,
my mom.
Darling, you might just watch what they're really gonna come in that opening. I got a good sight line. I'm just letting you know. You might want to just move a little, a little more.
Move a little. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you roll. I'm gonna give a -1 on that
The
roll.
most expert advice.
Thanks,
just
Mom.
move a bit.
So go ahead and roll to assist.
assist is.
It's just roll plus ties. You don't have any, so it would be 0, and so it's gonna be -1 because.
Excellent.
Holy shit.
How did you roll a 10?
That's so funny.
Jeez.
She knew
okay.
exactly what I meant. She knew the whole time. I just had to bring it to her attention. She knew.
She reminds you so much of a teacher you had.
I think
at
she
some
reminds me
point.
of my mom.
I'm thinking
your
like
mom.
the scene in Ratatouille where the critic takes a bite of the meal and then has this flashback to his
Holy shit.
childhood. And like Titania's just like, oh. Like,
Mom?
All right. Go ahead and okay, so you do that. You take +1, so it's gonna be a mixed success.
Incredible. Okay. So I choose 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know I gotta deal that extra damage.
Okay.
Plus 1 damage.
So what's your total?
That
what's your total damage?
is 3. Yeah,
Oof.
3 energy.
All right. So it's gonna be a total of 5 points, or no, 6 points energy. That's the damage that this thing is taking
Big
now.
sword energy.
So as you describe how you like strike at this thing with your sword.
I'm trying to. I am trying to reconcile the fact that I'm fighting with my luck skill right now. So I'm imagining her doing a lot of sort of zipping around and like dodging sort of out of the way and just circling and circling and circling and then waiting for just like one opening when the blasts stop flying, and just sort of bringing this sword down kind of right in the center of it, just like burning a big hole through like the top of it and like one of the treads so it can't go anywhere.
Okay.
It's just this big bright purple and green disaster.
As you slice through this machine, disabling it to a extreme degree, the entire like cockpit is torn open. I think you do end up slicing through one of the other occupants of the cockpit itself, and there's just like this spray of blood that just is going like drifting out into the vacuum of space.
Snooze, you lose, baby.
However, there is one person who remains sitting in the cockpit as like it has been shredded around them, and you just see this the dark gleam of their null suit helmet. You can't see anyone inside of it, you can't make out their face or anything, but because you rolled a mixed success, instead of damage, what happens instead is they hold up an object in their hands. It's like this, about the size of like a football almost, and it has this like handle on the top and is glowing along the side, has this like purple glow, and they grab onto the handle and then crank it downwards, and as they do, there is this burst of light that comes rocking out from it, and your console immediately just goes black as an EMP is detonated in the center of this battlefield. And as it extends outwards, all of your machines just immediately as you're hovering in the air, the displays go dark. And that's where we're gonna take our break. We are going to come back here in like it's gonna be a super quick break, everyone. We'll be back in like 5 minutes or less. Set your watches to it. Hang out with us, and we will be back shortly. See you soon. Welcome back, internet. Oh God, don't have time to even explain why we're all laughing.
We're consummate professionals and doing a great job. Is why we're laughing.
Torso.
Pro streamers.
Torso.
Okay.
And I'll form the head.
Can I be like the right leg?
We're talking about Voltron,
Oh,
guys.
I
and
was
Ryan
gonna
doesn't
do
want
a
to be the
bit
butt.
and say, if you can guess what we're joking about,
Oh, sorry. Okay, so
press 9.
this EMP field detonates in front of all of you, and all of your displays immediately go dark as your machines shut down temporarily.
Are our communications, like, are those part of the machines, or are those separate? Like, can we talk to each other still?
No, you all
Never.
electronics. If you have a pacemaker, let me know.
Well, then nobody hears me go, ah, shit.
My Tamagotchi.
No!
God. You
You can't stop talking. If you stop talking,
We'll
I will
start-
talk. We
I
will
know.
all start
I gotta
talking.
keep going. It lasts for maybe 30 seconds, 30 or 45 seconds, but it is a long 30 or 45 seconds. In the heat of battle with the adrenaline going and having no idea what's going on around you. Titania, I think you feel at one point your machine kind of like shake a bit.
Oh, come on, baby. Stay together.
And then after those 30 seconds pass, the display the electronics reactivate, your displays erupt in front of you, like blinding you for a second from the total darkness, and all of the senses and the sensors come back, and you hear the sounds of gunfire still going off. No mechs are currently moving, but you can see the Rider mercenary is still trying to hold off a section of the pirate infantry. However, they have opened up a gap, and you just catch the shapes of a handful, 5 or less, floating like infantry of the pirates going into the base, into the refinery, before they are kind of swallowed up in the smoke and the dust and everything that is still being filtered out from the explosion. And Titania, as you look down, you realize that whoever was driving the machine, that the person you saw detonate the EMP, is no longer there.
We got a runner, folks.
We got mercs heading to our perks. I repeat, we got mercs heading to our perks.
I think I'm probably the closest to the hangar.
I'm still in the bay doors at this point. She
you're
just
still
sort of
there
like
too?
came up and got some air. And
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
two
true.
of you are like a little
You've
bit
mainly
out.
been
but-
like you've been like
Mama's mech has its
Mama.
own chair that
That's
it sits
true.
in.
Yeah, we're both pretty far. Okay, we're both. Yeah.
yeah, you guys are both very close.
Has it been like mechs going in or like foot on foot?
On
personnel?
foot.
Okay.
Ground pounders, whatever the word we've been using for.
I love this line. I love it.
Okay. Did we get a read on the kind of weaponry they're is it like kinetic or energy or?
They've only been using kinetic
Kinetic so
weaponry.
far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess we're going in after the folks on foot. Would we fit in these things?
Oh, we can get in the hangar for sure, but then wherever they're gonna go next after that, because that was the hangar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was like a loading bay. It wasn't like designated to be a hangar, but they've repurposed it as one.
We can at least get inside, and then like to that part, and then we'll probably have to get out to follow them. But yeah, I'll actually real quick, that thing that I blew up that depressurized, like, is that still a thing?
It's like a section of the wall, like 20 or 30 feet up, or probably more than that, like 40 or 50 feet up on this like sleek black exterior. I think it is no longer depressurizing, but there is like a hole in the base itself.
Okay, I was gonna fix it, but it's too late. Okay, never mind. All right, so
you just see someone go drifting out. No, they're fine.
Are they wearing a suit?
No. He's a named NPC. He won't die that easily.
Okay. quickly grab him, put him back in the room, and then I'll just like do a quick like flare of the jets on my back and go like sparks flying as like my boots are scraping against like the floor and like sliding into the hangar, and I'm gonna quickly eject from Coyote 0.
Okay. I will say once you get into the hangar and through the smoke cloud, you can see.
If I could see them still, then I will
Yeah.
do something
Well, I say
different.
you will see a little bit.
Don't worry,
before.
Coyote. I got this.
There is a lot of debris certainly like hovering in the air, just like drifting around. It's obscuring a lot of your vision here, but you do see on the far side of this loading bay there are 2 doors currently open. One that, well, actually, you watch as the bulkheads of the door on the far side of the room, where the large warehouse doors that let your pikes in from the colony are located. There is a separate like what's the word I'm looking for? Airlock to the left of it for personnel. You see those bulkheads slam shut.
Okay. All right.
So you could intuit that they haven't gone further into the facility. They've actually gone into the colony itself.
Okay. And it's airlock and it just shut?
Yeah.
Can I fire my ion cannon at the airlock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay. Go ahead and do battle.
All right.
Goodbye, colony.
Wait, but it's an airlock. It should be. Is it contained at all, or is it going to burn
it's
all the way through?
It's
How
contained
powerful
to a
is
point.
this weapon? How powerful is this weapon? Is this like? Is this stupid? Like super stupid?
No. You're right. No,
I was thinking that maybe it would
advise
just like burn through that door and maybe like just like superheat the air on the other side of the airlock. But like if it's gonna like just like punch through all of it, then I'm definitely not gonna do that.
No, there are systems in place that like additional emergency systems that would lock in that you see, like there are additional bulkheads like along the wall of this chamber. If it goes bad, those might slam shut and you might be locked out of the colony temporarily. But it's the colony isn't just going to completely depressurize in an instant and killing everyone inside.
Cool. All right, cool. Hey, you know what?
This does count as rider property, though, so
I was definitely smarter the other game, but here we go. I roll a 7.
7. Okay, for do battle. So what's the damage to the ion cannon? I think is 2. Unless you want to deal additional damage, but
no,
you fire. Yeah, you fire on the airlock, and there is a blast over there. This blue sphere that detonates from the ion blast, striking the bulkhead itself. It's very heavily reinforced, but it does implode them. You hear over your comms some death shrieks as the some people in that bulkhead are likely dead.
Cool. All right. I really hope that those weren't engineers running away. And I really hope those are the people that I was chasing. But we'll see.
We'll find out in time.
All right, and then I demech at that point.
You look down, and the pirates are actually right there next to you.
This is going to be very awkward.
All right. You jump out. You all have null suits as well, so you are not in danger of dying in the vacuum of space as you leave your cockpit. The the rest of you outside. There's still a scuffle between the mercenaries and the pirates. Do you want to engage with that, or do you want to follow the rookie inside?
The remaining pirates. Is there anyone in a mech, or is it all
I think
infantry?
Yeah, I think they still have some functioning mechs out there. With the forces that they have lost at this point, they're pretty evenly matched with the mercenaries. But yeah, they still have a few like modified worker mechs that are operational.
Can I use a move?
Mm-hmm.
It's called I've Been Around.
Okay.
When you see an enemy machine, you tell the forecaster where and when you saw it before, and you can ask a question.
Okay. Where and when did you see this before?
I think I saw this about 10, 15 years ago at this point. It's a lovely miner named Jerry, I think. I don't know. It was the last time I saw. We had breakfast at a stop once. Nice guy, but just want to know is who owns this machine? Is it still Jerry?
Who owns this machine? Here's what, as you are watching this battle unfold and in the fray of combat, you have a calmness. Mama has a calmness to her that she does not get caught up in the flashiness. She's able, like somebody who is like a practiced magician. She knows where to look and when to look. Doesn't get fooled by the pageantry of all of it. And you inspect the mech because you've seen these before. And then you realize your friend Jerry worked in a mining colony much like this. And from the design of those mechs, you realize those are Ryder brand worker mechs for colonial excavation and mining operations. They would be used at much of facilities such as this one.
So the pirates are using the Ryder's own gear against them? I guess say that out loud. Anyone else saying that some of these pirates are riding around in Ryder's own gear? Is that just me?
Confirmed.
Mama,
I
it's
think-
starting to sound like we should turn this into a hostage situation.
I mean, that sounds like fun, but how do you reckon that?
I smash into one and try to grab the pilot out of it.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna call that a
Are they vulnerable or unsuspecting?
sure.
I have
What
a
is
move
the-
for
what-
that. I have
what are
Lucky
you trying to do?
Shot, which is if I inflict damage on a vulnerable or unsuspecting target, I can roll, and if I do good, I get to pick. They're hobbled or slow moving, they're stunned or dazed, something important to them breaks, or they drop something they're holding. So
Okay. I'm
can I
assuming
make
you're
the
one
mech
of
drop the person
drop
inside?
the person it's holding. Yeah, we can try that. Go ahead and roll to do battle.
Oh,
Actually, we
yeah.
won't do that. We'll just call this a destroy. You're doing
Okay.
your damage. Roll for your move.
Okay, plus luck. Please be good this time. That's a 9, so I get to choose one.
Okay. You want him to drop? drop
Yeah,
the
I
pilot?
want them. I want the person inside.
Okay, so you come rocketing up from behind.
I attack on Titan, this unsuspecting pilot, and just grab him out of there.
Okay, you're actually gonna grab him out. I was imagining you coming around, like shoulder checking it, and just like popping him out the.
I could
out
do
the
that
front of
too,
it.
but it's scarier if just a giant hand comes in and kind of plucks him out.
I'm trying to decide if it'd be scary for a giant hand to grab me out, to rip me out of my machine, or to have myself jettisoned out into the vacuum of space. Yeah, we'll go with the machine grabbing because that's what you want to do, and it's your move. Your
move.
You come smashing into the back of this machine, and then you just sort of like rip the cockpit open, and then grab the pilot out as gingerly as you can without crushing
I
his
try not to kill him.
brittle human bones. Yeah, you rip one of the pilots out of the machine. I think you actually grab the seat of the cockpit with him. So you essentially rip the cockpit out of the machine itself, and you are holding him in it.
Never let him tell you I don't know how to fish. I start heading back.
So, having seen 2 mechs pile onto Noah, and seeing Titania maul this tank, I will begin slow and steady taking out the remainder of the pirate mechs, starting with one of the 2 that is on Noah.
Okay. Yeah, so roll to do battle.
Okay. So that's with fight.
Yeah.
$10.
Okay. With the 10, what is the
it's 3 damage, but I'm a sharpshooter, so when I inflict damage, I roll plus skill.
Okay.
So that. All right. So I do a grand total of 6 damage to the mech that is on Jake. So I assume that's a destruction, and can I describe it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jake's there, and those 2 piled on him, and they're like trying to open him up like a can, and all of a sudden one of them just, this streak comes through, and it's just, he's walloped. The thing is driven into the ground in a way that there's parts like sticking out of a hole in the ground, because it's a kinetic round I fire out of this railgun, so it's just, it like imploded into the ground, and so there's just little bits of it sticking out of a hole next to Jake, like really close to Jake, like I shot him off of Jake's back kind of thing. And
Oof.
and there's just a smoke, we look up, and there's just a smoke coming out of the barrel in space, because that happens in anime. So yeah, it was
Okay. Yeah, this mech is just decimated. You see there's just it is instantaneous destruction, and you feel this weight off of your machine, off of the frame, as it is just blasted off of you. And I think as that happens, and the pirates are being like routed by the mercs at this point, and what remains of them are like fleeing the battlefield back to wherever they came from.
Okay. So is that one? So there's still that one that's by me.
It's trying not to be.
Well, I think it's more of a. I think I'm going to do battle with it, just because like it was on me. One gets taken.
If you want to attack it, you don't have to do battle. It's running away. It's a destroy. So you just inflict your damage.
Okay, I'm also going to use the move to amp it up, where if I'm holding a weapon that incorporates technology, so the fusion sword, I roll plus mine.
Okay.
So that's a 12.
Okay.
And on a hit, I get to choose 2 from the list below.
Mm-hmm.
So the choices are add 1 damage, swap a weapon tag, add a weapon tag far, or add weapon tag area. I think I'm going to add 1 damage and do weapon tag far. And I think, I think in very anime fashion as well, takes the sword and just like almost has it extend out in like a gigantic like beam of energy that is just ridiculously overpowered. There's no practical purpose aside from show.
Yes. I've seen this. I've watched Gundam 00. I know what this looks like.
Yeah.
The beam just extends outward, and you just slash down, like piercing through the mech. I mean, it is just bifurcated in an instant, and just the top part just like begins to drift backwards into space, and then spark boom. The mech is destroyed. Wow, guys.
But I will say, I do that, it cuts in half, and I turn around because you don't look at the explosion.
No, yeah. And it explodes behind you. Okay. The rest run away unless you murder them.
No, I'm good with the one.
Let 'em
Okay.
go.
All right.
I'm assuming that Cisco yelled out or called out that we've got, bogeys in the base or something along those lines to let us know that we should get inside.
I assume, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then, it's flip in the air and boosters like straight towards the ground to.
Yeah, and as you are all heading into the base, a voice comes over the comms that you recognize of Mr. Dawson, and says, sounds like it's okay. I'm watching out my window. We're gonna have to talk about a few things. Good job. Sword thing was great. I've got video here. It actually it projects almost like a CCTV, except futuristic video from the colony side of the refinery. It says, you missed one. And you see a null-suited individual running into the colony. And Titania, I think you just know it's the same person that was in that copy. You see an explosion behind them as the airlock depressurizes at the second that they get through, killing whatever companions they had with them. But they make it into bases. Now, we didn't really talk about the colony itself. I really don't want pirates in my mining colony. Thought that was, self-explanatory.
I'm sorry, sir. Are you adding credits to the contract, or?
You know what? If you find them, I won't charge you for the damage you just did to my front door.
You also want to explain, sir, why these pirates were using rider technologies?
Don't even worry about it. I got information coming your way. She's just holding a man.
Holding a man.
It says, "Oh, you got a hostage. Great. I'll have my guys take him so we can interrogate."
That'll be 500 credits.
Fine. 500 credits.
You got it, boss. And drop him. Just in
as far
the little
as technology, rider mining, I can't really understand what cutting out. And then he cuts the comms.
I fucking hate rich people.
Do we want to maybe see what this shitstain wants to say before we hand him over to these guys? Because I don't like this very much.
I'm game.
I'm getting the inside job feel. You feel me?
I hate it. All right. Talk to him.
Okay. You want to hold on to the hostage. The mercenaries, the rider mercenaries are coming back to the base. I think the one of the emergency bulkheads is dropped so they can repressurize the warehouse area. Everyone begins to get out of their suits and assess the damage. You all hop out of your mechs. You have the cockpit, which he is currently locked into, can't get out of. The Harpy is just holding the cockpit in place right in front of you. And one of the rider mercs, big guy, scars on his face, looks like he's in charge, comes up and says, All right, we'll take that one.
2 minutes, baby doll. Mama's gonna talk to him first.
I have orders to take the prisoner.
Too bad.
Your orders can wait 2 minutes, son.
I'm being paid a lot for this. 2 minutes is worth a lot.
When you've had as much time as I had, you learn some patience. Maybe you can learn that quickly. And she'll squint her one good eye.
Ooh. Okay. I'll let you're both doing this in different kind of good cop, bad copying it. One of you can roll to provoke. One of you can assist if you would like. Provoke is a luck roll.
Probably not mine.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I'll help.
Do. Oh, help. Help. That's a 6.
Okay. Roll plus ties, which will be 0.
That's my one good stat. Why? Oh no!
Yep. Despair.
A few more of the Rider Mercs
We
come
despair.
walking up behind him. They're still like in their combat gear with their visors down and looking like intimidating. He says, I sold my patience a long time ago. I'm going to take this one. I'll tell you what, if you find the one that's in there before we do, you can talk to him all you want. And they begin to unstrap the this poor figure from their cockpit.
Titania, ask him a good question now.
Hey, what the fuck?
Are you asking that to the pirate?
Yeah. Mining gear? What the fuck?
They pull the helmet off of the helmet from the whole suit off, and you see a young woman with shaved hair. She has like shaved black hair, darker skin, and she sort of leers at you, and she looks like gaunt, like very thin, almost like malnourished. And she just stares daggers at the 5 of you, and I think she spits, which there's low gravity, so it just kind of yeah, no, I don't think she answers your question.
Kenjobu just blasts her. He'll just take her head off, like walk up like from nowhere, like there she gives the glare, she spits, and Kenjobu just pops her.
Okay, you do that. She's defenseless, and boosh, her head just detonates, and the immediately
Jesus!
all of
Space
the rider
Jesus!
all of the rider mercenaries guns just wheel around on you, and you see the big dude like pulling out his sidearm towards you.
And Kenjobu's just solid, doesn't flinch, and then he's like, she was useless. And the gun just disappears into his cloak or his coat somewhere. And he just keeps walking like we've got someone to catch.
I just imagine Noah and his pike are just doing the same gestures like this over and over, like like both in sync. Like what?
The mercenaries, their guns remain trained on Ked until he gets out. It gets far enough away, and then they lower them. And then the guy turns back and looks at the body and goes, "Shit."
Now see what happens when you don't cooperate.
Mama just wipes stuff off of her suit. Yeah, I think we gotta follow that one. Let's go, Missy.
Now, Cisco, did you already moved forward, like, or were you waiting for the rest of us?
I'm not sure. I've been bouncing around a little bit narratively.
Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, so if you guys want to follow to try to find the guy that went into the colony, you can do that.
Okay.
My nemesis.
But yeah, you guys are
I
without.
don't want to do this so much anymore.
I think you guys go through they have like a second airlock. You have to like go further into the facility to come out through another airlock, and you just find Cisco standing there, just like deep breathing, muttering to himself.
Shit, rookie, okay?
Yeah, I know sometimes people gotta die, but usually there's a little bit of a separation. I just see the explosions of the vehicles. It's a lot different when it's up close and personal, but I don't want to let that stop me from doing the mission because I'm gonna work real hard and make sure we do a really good job because I really want to
Mama puts a hand
earn
on
this
the rookie's
money.
shoulder.
I think Noah looks at Kenchoku and goes, Hey, I got a question. What the fuck?
Oh no, that's the death question.
Oh no!
All right. Yeah.
What do you want to know?
You say what the fuck to Kenjobu? I guess he looks, and like I said, half of his face has like a dragon tattoo on it, and he just kind of gives you that one squint eye, like I don't understand this question, like, and I guess he would say something like, "They were the bad guy. They don't know shit. The one in there, they know what we need to know. We're wasting time. Kid, did you had basic, right?" And he says to the rookie,
I guess it was real basic.
Listen, Cisco in a mech, nobody can see you cry.
You have a gun, right?
Well, yeah.
Draw it and let's go. And he walks off.
I
Okay.
have a move.
Yes.
A drama
It's called
move?
listen here, kid. When you tell someone who has less experience than you the way the world works, roll fight. On a 10 plus, they'll listen to what you say and be grateful for it.
On a 10 plus, they die. On a 7 and 9, they die.
On
On a
miss,
6,
barely
I don't want
live.
it. On a miss,
They die horribly.
they're
On a
not
miss,
gonna
you
walk
die.
again.
Okay, so what do you say to Cisco?
Just again, still kind of covered with like the head spatter of the person from before. Kid, what we say before? What's the mission?
I mean,
Mercs, not perks.
Mercs,
We got the merc, then we get the perks. We keep the merc from hurting the perks. That's all we do. Stay on mission, and you got this.
I find your assonance convincing.
Go
Well,
roll
but
fight.
don't do that yet, because I have to roll for it now.
Okay.
You might.
Mercs and Perks is my favorite new Dr. Seuss.
So good. One merc, two
That's
perks.
an 11.
I find that you have a saying for this reassuring.
Is there anything else besides just the benefit of them feeling
Nope,
better?
they'll be grateful for what you have said, and they'll follow your lead for the time being.
That's right.
So- All right, abuela.
Let's go.
All right. The four of you head into the colony and begin heading down like the main thoroughfare. You've seen a couple of these small groups of these rider mercenaries also fanning out throughout the colony to search for this pirate. It is quiet here with the combat and everything going on. You see all of the colonists, the workers have like shuttered themselves into their homes. The streets are empty. A lot of just like debris and whatever they were carrying just scattered across the pavement. It's cramped, like narrow streets, buildings that are 3 or 4 stories tall. No thoroughfares for like vehicles or anything. It's all foot traffic, and just gray stone or concrete. Anyone who's leading this investigation, does anyone have any? I'm reluctant to ask if anyone has a move for looking for this, because I don't remember what I've written at this point.
The only thing I have that might apply is when I race an enemy for a position. I can roll, and let's see. Choose to leave themselves vulnerable, redirect. It sounds like it's from a mech only, so maybe that's not applicable.
I think you could use. I mean, that's more specifically like if you were actually like racing somebody, like in direct, like race either in mech or foot race or something else. I don't know. You're not really racing somebody. It's more like pursuing or finding, hunting, that sort of thing. Just to move this along, because we are running low on time. As you are heading through the city, who would notice this? Mama seems very perceptive and calm, and she's the one that noticed the writer stuff earlier. As you are heading through the street and heading through these like almost just alleyways between these buildings, you pass by a section of the wall where there is like a carving in the side of it. The carving is of a like a pickaxe, sort of sideways, and it has this it looks like it's just been kind of just hammered into the wall. It's very poorly done. You almost wouldn't even recognize it for a pickaxe on first glance, but what catches your attention is it looks like it's been mostly like wiped over or almost like painted over with like gray paint, but some of it's like flaking away, and you can see this specks of like this dark red color to it, like whatever when they initially carved it in, it was also painted over with this dark red, and the paint color catches your attention because it is almost the same color as the all the mechs were painted with outside.
We got weird art. What do you think that means?
Well, if I have to hazard a guess, it feels like an inside job.
Does it like push in? Is there?
It's on the side of a building, so there's not like it doesn't push in. There's no like secret door there, but there is a doorway, just like a few feet down. Like essentially everything here is like apartment buildings, sort of.
Ken Jobu says it to the group here. He's like, "Is there anything important nearby? A power source, a power generator, something that this person could sabotage?"
What were we supposed to protect at all costs?
I think just the mining facility.
The refinery, yeah.
Refinery.
The building you were just in.
I thought he said there was like one particular
A
shaft or
shaft.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, the shaft A, which was in the like main refinery building, where your machines are.
Gotcha.
I think you also hear, as you're like kind of mulling outside this building, you hear some shouting from inside the apartment building.
Head for the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right on Ken's heels.
Yeah, and
you push in the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You push in the door, and it leads to like the stairway that heads up to the like upper floors of the apartment. There are a couple kids sitting at the foot of the stairway that see you come in and kind of like scamper like under the stairs. One of them has like a small like model like spaceship in their hands, and they sort of like drop it on the ground, skids off to the side, and they both like duck under as they see you come in with your guns and weapons and looking all fancy. And you hear the shouting is coming from upstairs. I assume Kenjobu, you are pushing your way, and you get up to the second floor. And you notice there is also some red on the steps leading up. However, it doesn't look like paint. Looks like blood from a pretty large wound. And as you make it up to the second floor, you see one of the doors is sort of partly open, and you hear the shouting coming from inside. But it doesn't sound like shouting of somebody being threatened. It sounds like shouts of pain. And then there's like some frantic, like whispered conversation amongst the some other occupants inside.
All right. Head for the door. See if Titania has my back. Like she takes one side of the door as I'm coming through the
I got
door. And then where's the rest of the crew?
I think we're just. I feel like just be kind of just slightly behind as well, kind of in the same way it was with his mech.
All right, and then as in difference to the way Titania's like got the gun like all police, Kenjobu's just got his hands by his side, but he's got that massive blaster in his hand, like almost flapped behind one of the bits of his coat, and he walks into the room, and as soon as he sees what's happening, it's either start shooting or say something
Okay.
ominous.
You as you head into the room, some of the conversation continues for a moment because they don't seem to notice you. It is a small apartment, probably identical to the rest of them here. It's a single room. Some of it has been like there's a table and some chairs, kind of breaking up like a kitchen area. There are like a couple of bunks pushed up against the other side of the room, where gather the workers here sleep. It's dark. There is only one like little slit in the wall for like a window, or just to let like a little bit of light in, so they don't have to provide electricity for these apartment buildings. And there are is like a lantern in the center of the room, casting some long shadows from a table, or actually two tables that have been set up and pushed together. And you see a figure in a null suit that's been cut open is currently being medically tended to by an older gentleman sitting on a stool, who has like some improvised medical equipment, currently like patching up a wound. You see the gentleman in the null suit, or the remnants of one, is a little bit older, probably I'd say more middle-aged, maybe mid-50s. He is looks hardened, but is right now crying out in has like shouted in pain, and is like downing a bottle of something as the doctor is like hands deep in his gut, trying to remain conscious. And you see a couple of other people in the room that were having hushed conversation, a few men and women, most of them looking malnourished and exhausted, hardened, workers here wearing some like rider issued like coveralls. And their conversation stops as they see you walk in, and they look to you like panicked. one of them, you see there is a gun like laying on one of the beds, and you see them just like slowly inching towards it.
Then from the flap of the coat, it just comes out, and he's like, "Don't." And then I would imagine Titania steps in
Yep.
from right behind me.
The guy at the table kind of pushes the doctor away, tries to sit up a little bit, but like grimaces and coughs a bit, and you see kind of blood coming out the side of his mouth, and he says, "They don't have anything to do with this. Just take me or kill me or fuck it, just do whatever you're here for. Just leave them alone."
Waddles in with her rifle.
He looks at the guy that was going to get the gun and who's like still standing there and looking like antsy. He says, "Bryson, step away from it."
Now, y'all want to tell me what the fuck is going on?
The man says, "It doesn't matter. You're the pilots, right? The ones with the pikes. Do your job, whatever Dawson has hired you for. Just get it over with." And you see the doctor like lean and says, "Aro, you don't have to do this." The man on the table, Aro, just kind of continues to lean up and coughs a bit more. He says, "I don't have much more time as it is, so..."
Then you better get talking. What's going on?
"What do you think's going on? This was our chance to take back what was ours." Shit. Can't believe it went so fucking bad. We were workers here. Dawson kicked us out. We tried to take the colony. It's fucking terrible here. And the doctor kind of steps in and like puts a hand and says, "Aro, just lay back." And he turns to you and says, "Aro and a few others they took whatever they could, tried to take the colony from Ryder. The conditions here are terrible. People are dying in the streets. Illness, injury, malnourishment, you name it. It doesn't get any worse. So the people who had enough, they rose up, tried to take the colony from the corporation. It went bad. Dawson made an example of any that they caught. The rest fled to prevent their families from getting caught up in all of this."
Ken Jobu flicks his shades, puts them on, just says, "Too bad we didn't find anybody here," and turns and just walks out.
They all kind of look to each other, confused but thankful.
Well, I've never heard of you.
I think Noah is like, "Hey, feel real bad now killing your friend in like a really cool way. But we'll call it even. I see nothing, and then just kind of slowly backs out the door.
Super
as you're
casual,
leaving,
buddy, just so casual.
As you're leaving, you just hear us say, "Wait.
What?
Help us. Finish what we were trying to do. I don't know what Dawson's paying you, and we can't pay you a quarter of it, but if you care at all about what the people here are going through, help us."
exactly did you see that happening? What can we do?
The plan was to destroy the refinery. One of our engineers created a program we were going to install into the equipment. It was going to deactivate it's going to shut down the facility. I don't know the details of it. I just have the drive, and he gestures over to his some belongings sitting on a table covered in blood, and on one of them is like a piece of metal. It's like a computer drive.
I guess explain it to me like I'm thick, because, I mean, without that, y'all ain't gotta work, right?
We'll make do.
Is that bad, huh?
Yeah. Anything, if Ryder loses interest in this facility, if Dawson is gone, then maybe someone else will step in. Things won't be as bad as they were before.
I fucking hate rich people.
You think that if we level this facility, that the next person that comes in is gonna be chill?
We're hoping there won't be another.
Y'all just want to
Well,
be
then
left
we're
alone.
gonna have to be pretty thorough.
Fine. We're not looking to make money here. We just want to survive.
That thingamajig there, that's gonna shut everything down? That permanent?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we chased someone in there and, well, maybe they beat us to it.
Those of you with a high enough passive insight check, just see like Cisco looking to Mama and Titania for the move here.
Yeah.
And Jobu's like in the doorway with his back to the room, just kind of waiting.
I think, as far as we're concerned, sort of looking around to everyone else, we ain't found nothing.
We didn't find anything.
All right. Aro just nods, and as the doctor kind of forces him back onto the table, you all head down the stairs and back into the street, and you see
Mama's
jogging
gonna
down-
grab the thing that he had.
Oh, the drive. Yeah.
Mhm.
As you get
Good shot of
come back
whiskey
onto
fix
the
you right up.
street, there's a small group of the Rider Mercs comes like jogging down the alleyway, led by the big dude that was in charge before, and they stop and they say, "Found anything?"
Mm-mm.
And Jobu just says it. Still looking.
Shit. They gotta be around here somewhere. You check this one? Pointing to the
Yes.
apartment building.
Totally clean.
All right.
I wouldn't say clean, but
I don't think... I think I'm gonna have one person roll to provoke. Because that just feels right. Whoever wants to. Whoever feels lucky.
Yeah, who has the most luck?
I mean, this is probably me.
Probably.
Do
Do
it.
it. This is your time.
Probably
Shit.
Titania and I. But you do it.
Yeah, because
What do you think, Rook?
I've been rolling turd monkeys.
Wow. Oh, that's an 11.
All right.
This guy's
They
my
take the
biggest
bait.
fan.
They take the bait and do what you ask. The guy gestures and says, "All right, let's check the block down the road." And they go jogging off.
I think we have very limited time.
the 5 of you head back to the refinement facility. Where do you go? What do you do?
I feel like Noah is gonna kind of have a better grasp on what this the computer thingy does, and I think he takes charge of that and finds like the nearest kind of console to see what this is and then run it if necessary.
Okay, I think you can, using your connection and your power, your ability, you can identify what this does fairly easily. It's essentially going to cause the equipment and machinery that runs this refinement facility to malfunction in a way that will damage the tunnels and the mine shafts to prevent the refinement and the mining of the metals that are found here. Specifically, the damage you imagine would be catastrophic and extensive enough that the cost to remove the equipment and reinstall a new mining facility on this asteroid would exceed what it would cost to what the asteroid would even be able to produce. It would be just catastrophic.
We doing this?
I mean, we won't get paid.
This is a
But
youngins
it'll-
trade anyway.
Yeah, but it'll look really cool.
Money comes, money goes.
Boy, if we take up the people's cause, my subscriber count's gonna go through the roof.
That passive income, that's where it's at.
I mean, we can't let people just die in the streets. Fuck them up.
Right.
All right. You install the drive and activate the program in a terminal away from prying eyes. I don't think they're really focused on you right now because they're looking for the pirate who got into the colony. All the mercs are gone, and I think all we get is, because we got for our final shot here, is you plug that in and hit the go button, and you all, because I assume you're not going to go talk to Dawson, try to get your pay, or I assume you guys are just trying to get out of Dodge as quickly as possible.
I thought Kenjobu and Titanium might have been able to pull off getting paid.
You can try.
Switch.
Yeah.
You want to try that, Gambler?
We could try.
All
I'd
right.
love to have money.
Okay. So the two of you go up to Dawson's office before telling Noah to hold off on in the go button. You make it up to the office, and Dawson is in there and currently pouring himself probably his third glass of scotch, and turns around and says, "Good news? Yes? No?"
Pirates are dead.
Handled.
So good news. Wonderful. A toast then. Where'd I put the champagne? Stacy? And she's in the corner room. She says, "Oh, you were serious. I'll go get it."
We're not so much worried about champagne as so much as credits. We got other jobs lined up, so.
Oh, well, it's gonna take some time. We're dealing with some of the damage here, and I'm gonna have to have the credits transferred. Do you mind just waiting just a couple cycles? No, I'll get the
How long is this?
get everything together.
And as that's happening, Kenjobu's face is just becoming
It's
tighter
once every
and
4 weeks.
tighter.
I don't believe that time period is what we agreed on.
Oh? Well, extenuating circumstances. There's damage to the facility that needs to be mitigated. I need
Yeah,
to deduct.
Dawson, listen. You owe us. You'll pay us.
I shoot people. I get paid.
Make a provoke roll. Titania, and then I
Mech.
think that's sufficient backup from.
It's gonna go
The-
bad. I'm so scared. Ah!
Oh, that's bad.
Shit. Oh, the snake eyes.
That's about as bad as it can go.
It is as bad as it can go. I despair.
Yeah, I can't save you on that one.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
can't.
Nobody can save her from herself.
Dawson says, "Listen, business takes time. I promise, we'll get you the money. It's just gonna take a bit. But listen, I'll have it transferred to your accounts. I have your information. We'll work out the details. You'll get an email."
No one even uses that anymore, Dawson.
Right. Whatever you use now.
Fuck.
You sure you don't want to stick around for the champagne?
No, I'm good.
I think
Suit yourself.
Noah's just waiting to kind of hit the go button and bounce.
I'm gonna start to leave and then just be like, just very low as I walk past him. Ken, should we shoot him?
Ken will.
Oh no!
You shoot him?
Yeah. Just from the secret pocket that he has, the secret holster, just let Dawson have it.
The glass of scotch barely moves as his head explodes, and it collapses in the ground. You see Stacy standing, coming back into the room with the 2 bottles of champagne, and they both just sort of slip from her hand and smash onto the ground. And she just looks at you.
You need a new job.
It just slowly backs out of the room.
I can't abide people who treat their employees like shit.
Gun disappears and Kenjobu turns and walks out.
I follow him out going, guess we're really not getting paid.
I
Fuck!
think I said something like, "Did it go well? Did we get paid?"
I just see one of the comments. Yeah, we're not getting paid. Fuck their shit up.
Okay.
All right. And we get the sight from the mine shafts as the machinery begins to, some of it, the junction panels begin to glow, and you watch just this chain reaction of small, localized explosions of the junction boxes and all the electronics, everything in the machine, in the refinement plant sort of focuses its power supply, its fusion reactor, overloading the systems of mine shaft A, and causing this chain reaction explosion throughout the asteroid. I think you feel this shake, and there's almost this moment where you're like, I don't know how this asteroid's going to hold up, but it doesn't crack under your feet, and it doesn't break, and we get this this image of all of the colony workers opening windows and stepping out into the streets, and the mercs stopping in their tracks from their sweep of the city and turning back and looking towards the plant, where they just see smoke beginning to rise, and then the silhouettes of 5 machines, 5 pikes, zooming out from the blast doors on the other side of the plant, outside the Terra Dome, streaking up along the perimeter of it, and then zooming out into the stars. And that's where we're going to end our session. Go Good
Workers' rights.
game, guys.
Fight the power. Kill
Listen,
the man.
we went over time. I apologize for that. But there were a lot more head explosions than I was expecting. Number one. Also,
Respects.
if you watched the stream yesterday and you watched me prep for this game, you might notice the point when I deviated from what I wrote. If you can spot that point, text GGK now for a chance to win something.
We're all gonna have to go
there
back
was-
and watch that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Act 3 of this, it deviates wildly from what I had written because I had no time for more fights and explosions.
Oh, man.
And I was like, all right, we're just gonna get personal here. I think in spirit it went the same. In reality, I decided not to destroy the asteroid. So
I mean, you
'cause-
know who you let play in this game, so
that would have been another hour. Yeah. Well, when GB blew up that worker's head, I had no idea how the rest of this game was gonna go. I was like, maybe they're just gonna murder
it took a
pirates.
wild
And
left turn.
And I was like, actually, that would shorten this game considerably. So, good shit. And then Ryan just like blowing up the airlock and eliminating
was amazing.
the rest of the
Today's trauma.
pirate forces. I was like, well, we can't have a shootout in the city now.
That's true.
Um,
I did not have
GG.
didn't have a really successful role all that.
but yeah, it was good stuff. I hope you guys all got to do something and got to explore your class a little bit. I know with 5 players in a system like this and only having 2 hours, it's hard to get a chance to do much. But I hope you guys all had fun.
Yeah.
Wait, why do they call you Mama?
Oh yeah,
They
Dawson in
call
his
me
death throes
Mama.
was gonna ask that, but
Because I'm older than them, I'm smarter than them, and I'm not putting up with their shit.
I love it. I
Beautiful.
actually was going to have Dawson ask if nobody else did at the end. It's like, why do they call you Mama or something like that? But his head was gone.
No, we killed
Yeah,
him.
he
It's
had no
fine.
head, therefore no mouth. It's fine.
Nah, he was garbage.
Yeah.
Eat the rich.
Yeah,
Eat the rich.
good stuff. So normally we'd ask end of session stuff, but we're not going to do that. But this game concludes by doing end of session things like every Power by the Apocalypse game, and you guys get XP and can improve and all that good stuff.
Whee!
But yeah, so we hope you guys had fun. Anyone who watched this, if you are interested in the game, join our Discord and follow us on Twitter and all that stuff, because in the coming weeks, months, or however long when I actually get around to it, we're kind of finalizing things. I'm actually looking for people that do like mech art. I'm looking to commission somebody to do like cover art for this, and then be working with some other people that I've already talked to about doing some like splash art in the book and all kind of getting this all polished up so I can put this up on like TTRPG or something like that in some form. And yeah, if you have questions, submit them through our Discord and all that good stuff. We'll go ahead and call it there. So thank you everyone for watching. We will see people next on this channel tomorrow for AOS, which I did not announce at the beginning because I forgot about it. Tomorrow
How
at 7 o'clock Eastern time for D&D. Savannah and I will be there. Come watch. And yeah, and maybe other one-shots and stuff soon. So until next time, I will see you all in the stars. And good game and good night, Internet.